I'm Chirstian Kleinerman. I lead the product team over at Snowflake. And today I want to share a little bit about our vision for where data is going, where the world of data is heading towards. A big priority for us is to mobilize the world's data. And what we mean by that is we would like to make sure that every organization does not have to compromise between governance, between collaboration based on data and data products, and between programmability. Let's unpack what those three things mean. First one is the topic of governance. There are more and more regulations around the world that say, thou shalt be careful with your data. You need to protect data and make sure that you have the right rights and the right usage of data sets. Traditionally, this has been difficult. Every organization has had either siloed data or copies of data, usually led or forced to it by the infrastructure or by limitations of the infrastructure. Our vision at Snowflake is to make sure that all of our customers can have a single copy of the data that can be accessed by different parts of the business, different organizations, different business units, and at the same time enforce policies, whether it's role-based access control or data masking policies or row-level filtering policies, but make sure that at the end of the day, data is understood and governed in a single central platform. By the way, a big part of governance for us is not whether all the data can be in a single data lake, since the realities of data locality, data residency matter a lot. So for us, we think about it as a single platform that has the right data in the right location, potentially in different regions, potentially in different clouds. So governance is something that is front and center for pretty much every organization. But now we can talk about collaboration, which is another important aspect of what we aim to eliminate trade-offs relative to what's been possible in the past. We strongly believe, we have a thesis that collaborating with data is going to help companies outperform their peers. By collaboration, we mean, even if you have data in your organization, first-party data, you can go and put it in context through either third-party reference data sets or maybe anonymized second-party data, like data from collaborating with customers or partners, where we can go and understand better what that means. At Snowflake, for the last many years, 4 or 5 years, we've talked about collaborating in terms of data and an easier way to exchange data either between different organizations or within parts of an organization, and do so based on access control, not necessarily based on moving data. But since then, we've also evolved our notion of collaboration all the way where we believe in data services, data enrichment. Maybe instead of getting just an access to a data set, I get access to a function, I can pass in a data set, and I get additional visibility or additional information about that data that I passed in. That's what we call enrichment as a service. And you can go all the way to collaborating in higher level terms, things like a full-on application or maybe a user experience that helps me understand the data set. And that's what we've termed native applications, that are data products that help organizations, either large entities where one part collaborates with another, or generally different companies. So governance is part number one, collaboration number two. And the third piece for us is called programmability. The way we think about programmability is we want to make sure that more and more parts of an organization can get more value out of data, can transform data, can use, for example, programming language choice, whether it's SQL or Java or Python, to transform and manipulate the data. But very important, do so without compromising or changing the rules of governance of the data. Most applications today require some amount of a company's data to be able to do something meaningful or reasonable. And what we see is a re-siloing of data that happens from a central governance pool, and then I slowly start to move some amount of data to different applications. and that complicates the problem of governance. The way we think about it is that instead of having to move bits and pieces of data from the central data platform onto the application, we want to invert this and get it such that parts of the application can come and run closer to the data. That led to a set of initiatives that we've announced. Snowpark in particular is where we're securely hosting both the Java and the Python runtimes to enable applications as well as data transformations or data analytics to be able to perform closer to the data without having to, again, create either redundant copies or silos of data that complicate the governance problem. That's how we think about the overall vision for us. And let me sum it up. The world of data is going through a massive change. We are convinced that governance is a priority for pretty much every organization. We are also convinced that pretty much every organization wants and needs to do more with data, and they'll do so through programming in a variety of languages and using a variety of frameworks and APIs. And we think that there is a very high probability that the companies that succeed are the ones that embrace these two without trade-offs. Enable governance, enable collaboration, and enable programmability without having to trade one for the other, removing friction and enabling more companies to get more out of data. That's all I have for today. We're seeing already companies like Airbyte leveraging this pattern and bringing some other business logic to operate closer to the data. Thank you so much. Until the next time.